Ladies and gents, good night for everyone. How are you guys? Good evening, good afternoon, good night. Here in Europe, I think we are almost tomorrow. At Felipe's house is already Friday, right?
Yeah, I'm in the future.
Literally in the future. In the future. I am 4 hours ahead now from Brazil, and Felipe is 6 hours ahead
Six
from Brazil. That's why,
hours.
that is precisely why he knows everything before
Yeah,
us, right? That's why
exactly.
he
Yeah.
knows everything before us. He's always a step ahead of us, ahead of everybody. So he was asking, why are we doing this in English,
Yeah, I was
right?
like, why?
Yeah. And I have a question for you that is watching us. Have you ever seen him speaking in English?
Oh, that's a good one. The
That's a
other
good
thing
one,
is,
right?
maybe we're doing this because by the end of this, we're gonna sell our English course.
Maybe this is not a bad idea, right? But it's not this. This is not it. This is not it. At least not yet. You think Felipe? Once I had a person here in a live with me. Her name is, oh my god. Oh, I forget.
I don't know.
She's an English teacher. She's a UX designer, and she teaches English for UX designers.
Wow,
You
that's
know,
very specific.
from academic English into business English, specifically for UX designers. And
I mean,
she
that
is
makes
kind
makes totally sense, right?
total sense, yeah. And
Yeah.
she in Brazil, she's the only one. So you see, this is a blue ocean, as the marketing guys used to say. If you are good in English and you are good on helping people learn English, maybe, and you are a UX designer or the variations of a UX
Um,
designer,
yeah,
there's a
you only
plenty
need
of
the
space for.
proficient to speak and also to understand
Yeah,
in your area, right? So that makes totally sense. At least to me,
yeah,
I never heard about this.
yeah. Yeah, because here in Europe, guys, if someone is here watching us not right now or later in the recording, English is basic here in Europe. Okay, because for example, Felipe lives in Finland, which
Finland,
is the end of the world in one
north,
place. It's
very
it's
north.
in the edge of the world,
Yeah.
and here in Portugal, so if you get a Portuguese guy to talk about Finlandese, a Finlandese person, they won't
English.
speak in Portuguese, and even less in Finlandese, right?
Yeah.
So those guys are talking in English. So English is the language that connects people, like Nokia used to say, connecting people. Actually,
That's
what
true.
is
Yeah.
their what is their do you remember that, right? You are from the 80s like me. So you remember
Mhm.
that Nokia used to connect people before Facebook, right?
That's
Do you
true. And
remember
Nokia is from Finland,
Nokia
so
N20?
makes
Do you
totally sense.
remember Nokia 90 N95?
Yeah.
It was
It
kind of the
was.
first
I never had
smartphone
one.
ever.
I never had
Yeah,
one.
it was too expensive, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that I
it's
had
not. It
like
was
everybody
not
had
for us.
the N95. I had the Sony Ericsson.
Yeah, which is okay for them. Back then, it was okay. Sony, and the Motorola's, right? The greatest design of the time, in
Yeah,
my
they bring it
humble
back, right?
opinion. Yeah,
Yeah, they have the flip one again.
yeah.
Looks beautiful. I tried once.
So let's say hello to the people who's already here. So
Let me see the
Tiago, he was
chat here.
here even before we were here, right? So already waiting to start. Humberto, I'm gonna speak your name in English, okay? Humberto, it's not Humberto, it's Humberto. Hello, Humberto. Noel. Hello.
I
Ederson,
can't see
he
the
is.
comments.
Yeah, really.
Should I see the comments? Where should I see the comments? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Okay.
don't- yeah. Ederson, he's a legend. Every UX live in English, in Portuguese, in Finlandese, in Chinese,
It's
he's there.
Finnish.
Yeah.
It's
Senior
horrible.
English speaker in one LinkedIn
Yeah.
live. Good night, Ederson.
Ederson.
Okay.
It's very
So guys,
Nordic name.
we are all together tonight in this cold night, cold Portuguese / Finlandese night, to talk about AIs, right? Philip, are you an AI?
You know what?
Are you
The people are doubt, like people ask me this quite a lot now. Like, are you
yeah.
like just became an AI now? Because you used to talk about Figma and all, and now you're just talking about AI. And yeah,
What happened?
I would say that maybe,
Maybe a robot killed you, and now he's got your body. You
or
know?
my mind got transferred to the machine itself, and now we are one.
Yeah,
We just
yeah.
became one.
I think it's more possible than the robot to kill you and grab your body, right? So
Yeah,
let's think of this like you are both one piece right now. You are an artificial intelligence, that's for sure, right? So, but before that, I have to say that this is YouTube channel from Deploy. If you are here for the first time, you're welcome to watch all of our other lives. This is, I guess, the fifth or the fourth live that we do in English. It's kind of a big deal for us guys because we didn't used to speak English live. This is very tough. I
that's
think
true.
when I say this, right, Felipe? When I say this, yeah, my friends Rafael Boretti and Rodrigo Lemes, they can relate to this because they are so brave, so courageous to perform lives in English, especially with the guests. It's not everyone that can perform a live with their guests. Their guests, Felipe.
Yeah, I
Come
mean,
on,
I
man.
envy them
Jesse
because
James Garrett. Come on,
it's
man.
first of all you have to speak another language that's not your mother
Yeah.
tongue, and then you have to talk with like high level folks. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. So
I
imagine the
admire them.
mind, the mind going crazy. What will this guy think about me? Because I consider myself a good designer, but a terrible English speaker.
Really,
Right. So
I think you speak English very well. I think like we have that. What one thing that I learned, like working 15 years abroad, is
yeah.
that this is like just like you don't really have to care about like your accent or do you speak like fluent, or I think you have to make yourself understood, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that's most important thing. Of course, you have to learn the language. You have to put some work, some effort to learn.
Yeah.
But everybody speaks some type of English. Like it's not just like American and British English. It's like everybody's English.
Yeah.
I have my Brazilian accent. I for many years I try to hide and fake my accent, but now I just embrace it.
Yeah.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's part of me. I don't think I
Yeah.
can ever lose my Brazilian accent.
Yeah, but
So
that's the way it goes, man. But in my perspective, Felipe, I think people that are actually English speakers, no native English speakers, what they love is the effort. You know,
yeah, that's so
when they
true.
see, yeah, when they see that you are really intentional on learning their English, their
And I think
language.
that goes for every language because I also learned Finnish language, and it's the same. So once I have to tell this story. I went to the
Come on.
dentist. I went to the dentist
Okay.
here, and she was talking like she had a very bad English, so she
Okay.
couldn't speak in English, right? So
Okay.
she was like mimicking a lot and just like doing gestures and stuff. And then I said, like, I speak Finnish. I can speak Finnish. So I start speak Finnish with her, and she felt so like really like, wow, this guy can speak Finnish. And we start making like, of course, my Finnish is very basic, but anyways, by the end of the procedure or whatever I was doing there, she said that I don't have to pay. Yeah,
What?
you don't have to pay. This was fun just because
Come
I made
on, man.
the effort to speak Finnish with her.
Come on. But are there too many foreign people in Finland?
Yeah,
I
of
have
course,
no
yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Helsinki is huge, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I don't live in
Okay.
Helsinki, but Helsinki is huge. It's full of immigrants.
Yeah, I learned about this, Philip, when I went to Canada. There was a
Mm.
time where I spent 1 week in Canada, and then I went to Toronto. Toronto is a very
Yeah.
cosmopolitan city, just like São Paulo and Tokyo and New York and those kind of big cities. And when I went there, I went into a Japanese restaurant, which everybody was talking about, that they were like really Japanese. in the way that in the level that you don't get to order a soda, a Coke.
Oh yeah,
All
yeah.
you have to
Very
drink
traditional.
is
Yeah,
water.
yeah.
If you want to eat my food, you're not drinking beer or soda or Coke or whatever, even juice. They didn't even have an orange juice for the kids. The kids had to drink water. And as a matter of fact, the experience was amazing, because that day I learned how to taste Japanese food. Because those kind of drinks, they steal the taste of the food.
Yeah.
If you're eating, fish and then you drink Coke or beer, there's no there's no way the flavor stays in your mouth, right? So in that day, Felipe, I heard, like 1,000 different languages, and they were all English, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I heard an Indian English, I heard a Japanese English, I heard Indonesian English, I heard Brazilian English, just like me and you. Man, there was 1,000 of different Englishes in the
Yeah.
same room, and the house was full. There was a line outside of the building. And there are people waiting to get in because this was a very traditional Japanese restaurant. And man, and that day I understood that my English didn't have to be perfect because nobody else's is,
That's so
right?
true. Yeah,
Nobody else's is.
that's so
Oh,
true.
yeah, yeah.
It's, I mean, your
So,
experience is
yeah,
basically living in and working in Europe.
yeah, yeah,
Everywhere
yeah,
you go here, people speak English, right?
yeah.
It's different from like, I believe, like, of course, if you're in Canada, it makes sense, right? But when you're in Europe,
Yeah. In Europe,
it's a
yeah.
completely different situation. Like there's a lot.
Except for France, right? People
Yeah,
in
yeah.
France, as I can hear, I've never been there yet,
Me neither.
but
Yeah, but
everyone that
we know
goes
the
there
stories,
say
right?
that, yeah, that they hate English. It's the kind of the French way of living, right? So it's nothing new. It's no big deal. Well, Brenda is here. Hello, Brenda. Vittorio. Hello, Vittorio. Oh, I know a Bertolazzi. It's not you, but I have a friend, a Bertolazzi, for Leonardo Bertolazzi. Look who's here. Daniel.
Yeah.
Man, you are not allowed to speak that language here. Come on. I'm going to ignore this comment. I'm going to pretend you never made it. Okay, because we are here to speak English. My friend, you're the only one speaking in Portuguese, except for Humberto. Boa noite.
Boa noite.
Okay, so Felipe, let's get to the main subject.
Yeah, let's
Okay,
do it.
I'd like to
Yeah.
start with the pronunciation from Elon Musk that they are giving a break into the AI advancements. What the hell? What the hell is he? Is he the greatest mastermind behind all the AIs? Yes or no?
I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. Uh, the reason I say that is because there has been like many occasions and for many years, to be honest, that Elon has been talking about like the risks of AI, like long before
He's been warning people for
ChatGPT or
ages, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
he said about like massive unemployment and the risks of like cyber attack, and he has been talking about this crazy future, right? And everybody was saying yesterday that yeah, he's just making this for publicity, right? He needs the attention, but he's not in the board of OpenAI anymore.
Yeah.
And if you see the who signed the list, it's just a few people, right? Like few important people, but it's few people, right? If you look into like who is actually making the research and developing those like AIs, like Google, OpenAI, Microsoft, Meta, like they're not signing this list. And I don't think Elon doing that because what he wants is regulation, right?
Yeah.
And what kind of publicity you get from regulation? Only if he's creating his own AI, right? And has lobbyists there in the US. So I don't know. I think it's important. It raised a very good topic to think about. Like the risks are serious, right? Massive unemployment. So this will happen. I believe this will happen. There is no way you can like stop technology. I don't think you can stop technology.
Yeah.
And if for example, if US is not doing, China is doing. If they stop now, China will continue the research. Russia will continue this, right? So I don't think they will stop, and I don't think Google will stop developing this. I don't think those big companies will stop. My only
And the
concern is the time.
regulations, yeah.
Yeah,
But the regulations, as far as I can tell, okay, the US government and the other governments are still struggling to keep up with Google for the last 20 years. They can't regulate how Facebook, how Google operates for the last 20 years.
yeah, that's so
So
true.
imagine now it's everything for us that we are the generation of the change. Actually, we are not.
Yeah,
The
we're
Z
old.
generation, they are the generations of the change.
Yeah,
But for these kind of people, people who were born after the 2000s, this is okay. It's no big deal. People don't remember life before Google. And it's important to mention that. Are you aware? Everybody here that's watching us aware of TikTok's pronouncement?
yeah.
TikTok is. I didn't know that the CEO of TikTok, he is from Singapore.
Mm-hmm.
He's not Chinese, but the company is Chinese.
Yeah,
And the U.S. government was talking about, hey, you can't come here, and have our data. You can't come here and control what kind of content are you delivering to the teenagers, to the youngsters. And then his name is, I think his name is Show
I don't remember.
Show
Yeah,
Chu, I think.
yeah. I think
He
yeah,
said
sounds right.
most of our active users are above 18. They're not teenagers in most. The high majority of the users are not teenagers. So, guys, pay attention to this, right? Governments are struggling to keep up with technology, and they have been struggling for the last 20 years. They can't regulate. Last year, the CEO from Google was there once again. Mark was there once again, and the people trying to regulate how they do things. And when we think that the governments are getting close, we discover that the technology is another 20 years ahead of them.
Yeah,
Right?
but I mean, I have some concerns about that because yeah, it makes sense. But there is no real risk, right? If you think about like Google, what is the risk of Google? Like become like this monopoly, right? Like this is a big risk for them. But the problem with I think, is the velocity. This like is getting smarter, right? The velocity is evolving, and I believe, and especially when I start watching and reading about how this technology is created and listen to Sam Altman, like the CEO of OpenAI, talking about GPT-4 and all the advanced there, and you just start to see that, and you start to notice some patterns that they don't really know where this is heading. And it seems like, yeah, we are creating this, but we still have the what's the power button in our hands. If something goes wrong, you just press it, right? But the problem is, the way I see is, do you have time to press the button? Would you know like when is the right time to press the button? So I think that's what Elon is trying to, even though if he has other motives about like his letter and anything like that, but I think the risks are real. I think, imagine this evolves so fast that people won't have a job in the next 2 years for everywhere, like every job you think about it, right? The governments are not prepared for that. Nobody's prepared for that. Like massive unemployment. We don't have like a universal, what they call like universal income, like a basic income for everybody. Of course, if you are in Finland, you have it. But if you are
in the rest of the
outside the
world,
Nordics,
mostly.
yeah, you screwed. Basically
Yeah.
that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the risks are more about the velocity, like how fast this is evolving, and I don't think they have full control. That's my take on it. Especially when I listen to podcasts and people talking about this. Elon has been talking about this for ages, long before ChatGPT. and
Yeah.
now we are seeing this getting like, imagine. So let's go back to this topic,
To
AI
the
topic
yeah,
and
yeah.
design related stuff. So 2 years ago, I was in a podcast with my friend Luan. He has a UX podcast in Brazil. So, and we are talking about design systems. So, and he asked me, I was talking about like the what they call it in Brazil is like the future designer. Let's put it like this, right? The designer
Yeah.
from the future. And we are talking about design systems. And he asked me, like, would the UI designers still have a job in the near future? And I said to him that I don't think so. And my reasoning was that we are living. This was 2 years ago. We are living the era of design system, where you see like open source design system from Google, from Apple. Companies are creating their own design system, and I said that it's just a matter of creating such advanced technology that can connect everything and just start spilling screens, flows without you even touch a Figma, a file, right? And this was 2 years ago, and we already have this. Like there are companies working tools like this, and I believe in the next 2 months we're gonna see more and more. So this was 2 years ago, and we already have things like this, and it's happening already. So that's my question: is like, I don't think we can stop it, but I think we won't see it coming. That's my
Yeah.
take on it. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's very frightening, right? Because
Yeah.
if the guys behind those softwares, those products, are not completely aware of the consequences of their decisions, if they don't know, who does,
I mean, I
right?
think they know. Maybe they're just not saying. I think they know.
Yeah, I think yeah, because if they say they know, they're gonna be
Yeah.
very quickly regulated, and suppressed by media. But I think, Felipe, that the governments they are and the companies maybe they are going to make a stand against it.
Yeah,
I
of course
think,
they have like
you
those
know,
companies. They run like U.S. government, right? They're full of
yeah,
lobbyists. So Google, Meta, all those big companies, tech companies. So the and yeah, my question is how long this debate will will take, because I don't think we have enough time to create regulation, and people don't even understand what ChatGPT is. They think
yeah,
it's a they think it's a ChatGPT is Google. You can ask anything there, and
yeah,
you're gonna get an
just
answer.
differently. Yeah,
Yeah, you're gonna get an answer, but it's probably wrong and fake. So yeah,
yeah, yeah. Google. Let's put it like this: Google shows you who has the answer, but he doesn't know the answer, right? Because someone somewhere in time or in space or whatever had uploaded a content that Google finds and delivers to you. Hey, this guy has an opinion, has something that you are after, which is completely different from the AIs because the AIs are producing that content.
yeah, they're
They're not just
creating, right?
finding that content,
They
right?
even
So it's not
have
a search anymore. It's a
yeah, they
it's a
even
chat.
have
It's a
yeah,
talk.
it's a chat. They even have a feature which makes them hallucinate. So if they can start
What?
creating like hallucinations. So yeah, you can turn down up and down that, like how much hallucination the feature can do. So it's crazy. I know it's crazy, but I think people don't understand how it works, and they create a lot of assumptions in their minds. And when I see like, oh yeah, ChatGPT is answering wrong questions and creating misinformation, yeah, it's doing that because it's not native. It's not Google. And even Google,
Yeah,
if you pay to have your site on the first page of results, you can also misinformate people.
yeah.
I mean, that's the world we live in.
And when the bill comes, right, Philip, imagine you write an article about something, and then the government, someone comes to you and say, Philip, this is bullshit. I'm gonna sue you, and then people are going to say it was not me, it was the Chat GPT.
Yeah,
You know, I
who's
I
to
I I
blame,
never
right?
wrote that article. It's so easy to blame the software, to blame the robot, and get rid of this. Let's see some comments here, Felipe. Thiago asked you, is this pause, when we were talking about Elon Musk's opinion on the pause, is this pause proposed by him in a possible delay in his technology to keep up with the others? So he's saying he's stopping, but he's not actually stopping. He's gaining time to, improve his product. How do you think?
Yeah, I mean, the pause is voluntary, right? Because nobody's saying to you that you have to pause, right? So I think it's very. I don't think that's it. I think that it's not the way to do it, right? Because he used to be an investor. I don't know if he's still an investor from like he used to be on the board of OpenAI, and I think he's still an investor, but I'm not sure. But why would you create such a statement or a letter, right, to stop this to advance, right? Just pause for 6 months. I think it's the reasons are right. I think he is concerned because just go back like 5 years ago, you might find some interview with Elon talking about this subject.
In the pandemic, Philippe, I'm not sure about the year exactly, but I remember that in the middle of the pandemic, maybe, I don't know if it was during the completely lockdown that we had. Yeah, he said, guys, you shouldn't be afraid of a disease. You should be afraid of AI.
Yeah. But
AI will end the world. It's not COVID. It's not a
Yeah.
flu. It's not, a monkey flu. So it's not that. Technology will kill us. You know, and 2 years later, he's behind an AI. So and now he claims to pause it. After he threw, Felipe, the iron ball into Cybertruck's window. You
Yeah,
remember
nobody
that?
believes him anymore.
Yeah, there was. I am sure that was exactly something like a marketing stunt. He wanted to break the ice, the glass, because everybody in the world will talk about him.
Of
That
course,
was
yeah.
the idea. This is Elon, right? This is what he does. So he's not pausing anything, in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I had an enlightenment from heaven, and now I am concerned of my actions. Come on, give me a break, right?
I mean, he
I
has
don't
so
believe
much
this.
money
I don't
that
buy
he
it.
doesn't need to ask the others to pause. He can just buy the others or buy enough
Yeah,
enough force to build his own AI. I don't think
yeah,
that's it.
yeah,
But I think he brings some good questions to this. But
yeah,
anyways,
yeah. Yeah, it's exactly his opinion. This opinion from Tiago here, Tiago Castro. This guy always has some reason to speak out. That's
yeah.
Elon. All right. Let's see another question. The race is accelerated, looking like kind of a cold war of AI technologies. Whoever launches first wins more and faster. Totally agree. Every hour, some big company comes up with something new. I have a
Exactly.
question on this, Philip. Because
Yeah, go ahead. Shoot.
it's kind of like when someone comes out of the blue, someone comes out of nowhere and brings something new to the world, or not bring something new, but maybe launches a product that nobody else had launched and brought to the world. Everybody else is gonna rush to keep up. So for example, since I was a boy, in the 80s, I hear about electric cars, and there were the stories of the Brazilian guy from Gurgel, who had an electric car, and the guy vanished. Nobody knows where he is, if he's alive or not. Some people say he was killed by the system, by the Illuminati or whatever, because
Like
he was
the
gonna
question that
break
I make
the.
is why? Why he
Why
killed the guy?
exactly? Why? But still, Philip, think.
Yeah.
We've been here about this for the last 30 years, guys. Most of you weren't even born, and people were saying the I forgot the word, petroleum. The oil
Petrol.
industry is so strong that
Yes.
nobody else can come and kill this industry. that's why the technology of the electric car will never see the light of day, because this industry is so rich, is so powerful, especially in Brazil, and the Arabic countries, So it's so massive in kind of power and money and politics that nobody can kill this empire. And then here comes a guy, which is Elon Musk, and say, no, I'm gonna make an electric car. And 6 months later, every other, car companies are starting to develop electric cars. In my way of seeing it, Felipe, those companies have always been working on electric cars, but they were waiting for something big to happen, and then they could come fast. So this is, in my opinion, kind of the same thing that is happening with AI. So, for example, I've never heard that Notion had an AI.
I've
And
heard.
1 month later, that ChatGPT comes to light. Hey, now Notion has AI. Hey, you've always had AI. You just didn't tell this to the world, right?
That's so true. Yeah.
Why,
It's the
why
same
now?
for Adobe softwares, right? Pretty much all
Yeah,
the Adobe softwares, they have some type of AI, machine learning, but they don't say explicitly like, "Hey, this is AI," right? We just put a name and we brand the feature, and now you
yeah,
have like smart brushes, and you have like neural, what they call it, neural filters. But this is machine learning, right? This is machine
yeah,
learning. This is like pattern recognition. This is AI. This is what we call AI, right?
yeah.
It's not like a being there, like this sentient being. It's just a machine learning. It's very good in pattern recognition. That's it.
Yeah, but that's the point, man. For how long has this technology been around us? It's
Oh, for
been
very long.
ages around us,
Very
right?
long. Look, I have a book.
Very long.
This is the artificial intelligence, and this is an illustrated history, right? And it's from the 60s. They created some type of
What?
AI. We have like AI throughout the like very 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 ancient AI. So this is a very good book. Yeah,
In the
I mean it's not.
60s?
Yeah, it's not the same as we know today, but of course people have been trying with, for example, the Turing test, right? It's a very old test, right?
The one from the war,
Yeah, the
Second World
Turing
War.
test. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we have some type of AI, and of course not as advanced as today, but it's pattern recognition. And now we have not only more knowledge, but also more machine power, right? And also processors, right? So they can feed this AI with I don't know, billions of words and documents and books and everything you know since the beginning of the time. And yeah, now that's why ChatGPT is so crazy. You can ask anything there. I mean, you shouldn't ask anything there. You should know what you ask, but yeah, that's basically it.
But nobody does, right?
Yeah, nobody does.
I have the strong feeling that nobody does. Nobody has the right question, you know. Let's see
Like
some comments here, Philip.
yeah, let me just
I'm
comment this.
sorry.
Like the way I
Yeah, yeah.
see like the AI or ChatGPT, especially the GPT-4, it's like you have this genius lamp where you have a wish, you know, you have a
Okay.
wish. Keep with me. It will make sense. I hope it makes sense. But you have a wish. Do you, like did you have like a dream like when you were a kid that you imagine that you wish like three wishes, but you never know what you wish because you don't want to waste your wishes, right? You want to make
Yeah.
like the best wish possible. That's the way I see. That's the way I see ChatGPT or the AI or those models that we have right now. Like you don't know how to ask the question to make it right. And I think people eventually, I think we will understand and get the hang of it. But I think that's the best analogy that I can make is that you have like this very powerful uh, technology but you don't know how to talk to it, right? So that's the way I see, and I think it sometimes it makes me think like this because yeah, you can do anything. Like
Yeah.
you can actually use nowadays to do your work, but how to do it properly, how
Yeah.
to take in consideration like privacy, user data, your data, right?
Yeah.
It's big, yeah.
Yeah. I don't
So
think,
let's,
yeah, I don't think anyone is following this, really. You
yeah,
know, do you remember the I Robot movie?
yeah.
Do
I
you
watched it
remember?
a couple of days
It
ago
was
again.
today. I think it's a cult movie, just like Matrix, right?
Yeah,
In that
it's not so
movie,
good. It's good, but it's not so good.
yeah, yeah. But in that movie, I remember a line that is exactly what you were saying. Because the detective was killed by the robot, by Sonny. I remember
Mm-hmm.
the name of the robot. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm like that.
funny. Yeah,
And Sonny killed his creator, the scientist behind himself. And as the movie went on, what's the name of the guy? Come on,
Will Smith.
oh, Will Smith. He said, "Why did you kill your creator?" And then he said, "He wanted me to kill him.
Yeah,
He ordered me to kill him because of his consciousness, he knew what he was doing." But this is not the example. The example is, remember that he left some clues to Will Smith,
yeah.
and he had to discover the clues and make the right questions. So he
It's
had to
exactly
make the
it.
right
Yeah,
questions to the detective in order to discover, to go after the trail, and then discover who murdered him. And also Sonny still, like his creator, Sonny was aware that he had to speak in riddles, in a little dilemmas, little jokes, and then will follow the thinking of the robot. This is exactly it, man. And what's funny, Felipe, is today, I'm not lying, man. I'm not inventing this. I saw today on Instagram a guy selling a course on how to make the right questions. How to make the right questions to ChatGPT. There's a
yeah.
course on this. Man,
I
this
mean,
is unbelievable. Yeah.
I don't blame him. Like people are
Yeah.
not using the full
You
power of
surf
this.
in the wave, right?
Yeah, I mean, if he knows, send me the link
If you know, you
because
can share it.
yeah,
If you
you
know,
can make
share with the
wonders.
world.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see some other questions here. Companies in general are so behind the schedule regarding design maturity. How do you see them getting updated on AI? That's a good question.
That's a big question. Yeah, that's a big
Yeah,
question. I mean, of course, big companies have more maturity in design. Uh, they still like debating like how to use this. For example, company that I work for, people are using GPT or Chat GPT, but I believe and I believe companies will need to have some kind of training if they allow the employees to use because that's very sensitive data that you work with, especially if you're just feeding the chat GPT with like sensible information and you know. So yeah, I think this will be another big problem that we have to solve
yeah,
and how to take along the like this technology and also make sure that we implement it right so we don't fuck up our business.
yeah.
That's it.
I have an example, Felipe. We have some clients that don't allow their collaborators, their employees, to use Figma because of the quality of the code. As Figma, as far as I can tell, Figma is an open source software. So some companies, under their compliance, their jurisdiction inside itself,
Yeah.
they don't allow their collaborators to use Figma. So if you are addicted to Figma and then you go to work, for example, to a company that sells cars, that builds cars, maybe you're not going to be allowed to use Figma. Okay. In other scenarios, such as our clients, the collaborators have to install VPNs in order to keep the inside data from the company protected. So do you really think, I ask this for everyone in here watching us, do you really think that the companies are allowing people to use ChatGPT in their computers if they don't allow people to use Figma? Figma is like sugar, it's nothing compared to ChatGPT. Do you really think that the big corporates are allowing their collaborators to use that kind of software in their computers under their eyes? I completely doubt it, Philip. I don't think that that's possible.
Yeah,
Even
but
with
the problem is like even the bigger companies, they're lacking velocity to uh, inform everybody, because this is just a site. You just go to the link and to the URL and you access ChatGPT, right? And you
yeah,
can just start typing. The problem is when you start copying paste like user information and company information that you don't know where this is going. There are ways you can ask to remove the data that you put in, but you have to go to a Google form. It's very, yeah, it doesn't work properly. So yeah, I think the companies they have a big problem to solve now, which is like, because like some companies they have what do you call it, like trainings about like user privacy and company sensitive information. You shouldn't share those type of things. And I think they're gonna have to create some type of training regarding like
yeah.
providing
The
information
security
to
of the
this is
information, yeah,
security.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So I think like even people like I've seen people. I also saw someone selling a course about LinkedIn, how to make LinkedIn with ChatGPT and make like good resumes and stuff like this, cover letters and stuff. And you're basically feeding this model with your personal information, right? Everything about you. Uh, and yeah, I would never do it. Never put my information there.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
that's yeah. Especially now,
yeah,
everything's just trial, right? You shouldn't feed stuff like your own personal stuff there. Like when
yeah.
you go to Facebook, for example, people were pissed with Facebook when they sold like millions of user information to what was the name again? The company who bought
I don't
some
know.
kind of Analytica, right?
Yeah,
So they sold information, sold everybody's information to this company, and but now people are willing to give their personal information for free to this new thing called
just to try the
ChatGPT.
new thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like does it sound like, to you like it's an excuse? No, it's a trigger. So
Mm.
okay, people don't want to give me the information anymore. So I'm gonna change the subject, change the way I ask that information, and actually I'm gonna make people want to give me that information, right?
Yeah,
And that works. It's
it's not so
working.
transparent. That's the thing. It's not transparent both ways. You don't know where the data is going, and if they are using this data to train the model, and you don't know where the data are coming from, because we know they use codecs, which is like this humongous uh, file. I don't know if it's a file, but they use to train the AI, right? The model,
Yeah,
but you don't have a source, right? If you start writing like a poem or something like that, they don't give you a source. It's creating on top of many poems,
yeah,
many musics, and so there is no like there is no transparency. So yeah, I think that's, as I said, the velocity this is evolving, and we are, I think companies, everybody will struggle to keep up with, like, what should we do? Can we use this? Are we allowed to use? Because it seems to me, especially if you have you tried the Chat GPT 4? Have you tried?
no, I'm afraid of this.
Okay, so yeah, the Chat GPT 4 is crazy. Like it
Yeah,
is crazy. It's like if you try Chat GPT free version, it's good. But GPT-4, the Chat GPT-4, it's another level of good. It's like when you're talking to GPT 3.5, which is the one that everybody's using. The GPT-4 now is just for paid users and just a few have access. But the GPT-4, like compared to the previous version, is like you're talking to a child. The new one is so much better. It makes so much sense. The texts are like top notch. And if you take the text from GPT-4 and put in the AI analyzer, they scan the text to see if there's any AI content, they pass easily. Like 80%, 99% human text. It's crazy. It's
God
bananas crazy.
damn.
So imagine that now, so the GPT-4 has been, they already have the final model since August last year, but they are only now releasing to the public, right? So they have been
Yeah,
training
yeah,
for a long time. And
yeah.
it's like, of course, I'm not so naive to think that they are not
Yeah.
they are not working on the GPT-5 already.
Yeah. That's for
So
sure.
yeah, this is crazy. It's crazy times. But I
Yeah,
believe
but
I
yeah,
get excited about this. Like I've been like reading books and listening to podcasts and trying myself. Like I've been trying all the AI tools that I can get my hands on, and it's definitely going to change the way we work, for sure. I have no doubt anymore. And I don't
yeah,
really care if people say that. Yeah, this is just like it's just a phase. Like it's a
yeah.
trendy. It's
So
like
it's like
NFT. I've heard
Bitcoin,
that,
yeah, and
especially
NFT
now.
and stuff.
Yeah, especially now that I've been creating content about this topic, people are saying quite a lot to me. Like, yeah, this is just a trend. It's like the metaverse, right? The problem is that the velocity this is evolving. I think people won't have the time to realize that they are in the past now, because as soon as they release the new biggest tool, for example, Adobe just released their AI
Firefly.
tool, right? The Firefly. I tested. It's not great.
Really?
It's not great. Yeah,
It's just a
it's
quick
very
answer,
limited. So
right?
yeah, so
It's a statement that
this is a
Adobe
good
is not
this is a good
sleeping.
parenthesis. This is a good parenthesis. So I tested the Firefly, right? So Firefly, you can try two things there. You can try the image generation, image generator, right? So you type whatever you want there, and it creates four images for you, and you can. It's very good, and it's very fast, but it's not very detailed. And the reason it's not very detailed is because the model they trained, like the image they trained this is from Adobe stock. So it's a very limited uh, like image bank, right? It's very limited because they want to make sure that all the images used that they have the rights to use, right? And I think this is a good concern to have. But the problem, you see, the results are not great. If you compare the Adobe Firefly with Midjourney, for example, Midjourney 5, it's just like, no, yeah, why should I use Adobe Firefly again? Because Midjourney is way better. Like I can get
Yeah.
anything out of Midjourney 5, right? So that's the balance. But Midjourney 5 use copyright content. It steps in any regulations. It doesn't care, right? And
Yeah.
there are no regulations now. Like nobody, like they are trying to, they're suing like the Midjourney, and also the other one I forgot the name now. But the problem is
Dolly.
Dolly. I don't think it's Dolly. It's the other one. Stable Diffusion. Stable Diffusion. So they have lawsuits against those companies now. But the problem is, I think it's already too late. I think it's already too late, and yeah, we're gonna see nowadays and in the near future as well, new tools that will make our job faster, and I tend to say even better. It can make our jobs better, but the problem is how fast it will replace us. I think that's a question that I don't think it's gonna
Yeah.
happen anytime soon, but you still have in the back of your mind, like, hey,
Yeah.
this is doing like a much better work in creating, for example, content as I've been doing for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
So
I
I
can
use
tell.
GPT-4 to ideate with me, and it's crazy good. Like I can get
Yeah.
so many ideas, and I'm already a very creative person, and I think like my Photoshop skills are great, and everything is it has been working right. I'm fast, but this is much faster than I ever will be.
Yeah.
So I think people need to adapt and fast. That's the problem. My only concern with AI is velocity. I don't think we have the speed to keep up with. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm tend to like agree with Elon, even though if his reasons are completely different and he has other agenda. But I think the risks are real. I think
Yeah.
people won't have the speed to keep up with it, and we might see very soon people without jobs. I don't know about
Yeah.
the design part, but many other areas, I think, like ghostwriters, forget it.
Yeah.
Ghostwriters, yeah, forget it because you can just copy anyone in the world style. That's the thing. You can already do that. You can just say that, oh, I want to write a book about this little wizard boy called Felipe Potter, actually Mao Potter, and I want you to write in the
I
style
have
of
a
J.K.
lightning here in
Rowling.
my forehead,
Yeah,
somewhere.
he doesn't have a light in his head. It's just bold, you know. That's it.
Yeah. His power is to be bald. Okay.
Yeah, and that's it. Like the this and like this crazy wizard just uh used like this very like unforgivable course, and he just became bold. That's it. So nowadays you already have this. You have the power to create a book if you want. Of course, it's
Yeah.
very slow. It's slow paced. You need some patience, but you can already do it, and the
Yeah.
result might be very good.
Yeah. And
As long as the
I
result will
started my
suck,
career. Yeah,
right?
yeah. I started my career as an illustrator, Felipe, and I still have a lot of friends who
Yeah,
are
yeah.
illustrators. You know, the guys are going nuts. You know, that they are crazy, mad at those companies. And there's a story of a guy. Maybe I don't remember if he's Brazilian or not, but doesn't matter. He launched a book just like you're saying, out of whatever, you know. Oh, tell me a story about a guy that could fly on a broom, but he's not a witch, you know. Okay. And then Midjourney generated the images, ChatGPT generated the content, and then he put it all together in one piece, put it as he called it. It's a test, it's a validation. Was not a
Mm-hmm.
validation. And then he put it on Amazon to sell. He sold 250 copies in a matter of 1 hour. You know, the guy is no content producer, hell, not of a designer,
Yeah.
even less an illustrator. He's some random guy, you know, who told the AIs to do something for him, and then the product was there
I
like
did
two
that.
hours later. You
I
know, you
just
knew that.
didn't make any money out of it, but I did that. I
Yeah,
did it as an
yeah,
experiment. So what I've done is basically I want to create this children's history, right? It's this children's story, and I asked ChatGPT to do it, and he created this. Like I gave just like a basic information what I want the story to be like, and he creates like this 1 minute or 2 minutes story for me. Then I took the story, I put in the this voice AI voice generator to narrate the story for me, and it did very fast. The ChatGPT was fast. The other one was fast as well. And then I went to Midjourney and asked for illustrations for this character that I created or the AI created, right? And it was like matter of minutes. I had the whole thing like story, like the script, right? The voiceover and the images in, and then I put together in Premiere, like my video editor, and in less than 30 minutes I have a kid's story. If I have like business idea here, you guys, so business idea, so if you have like many employees doing that for you and creating kids stories, all kind of kids stories, right? You create one style, and you put Midjourney to replicate the same style for every book, and you just start to upload this in social media. And I'm pretty sure in probably less than 6 months, we're gonna start making some good money
yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
I have no doubt that you're gonna start making very good money, at least $5,000 to $10,000 a month just with videos. But you have to post every day. You have to post one or
Yeah, there's
two
work
or
to do.
three
Yeah,
stories every day,
it's not that
and
easy.
in
Yeah.
many social medias possible. Create your own style, your own, like, pretty much your own identity, and do it. Yeah, that's a business idea. I thought about doing it, but yeah, the problem is nothing is so transparent, and I don't want to put so much effort in something that I have no guarantee that I can scale this and also invest money on it, right?
Yeah, and time, right? Let's see some comments here, Felipe.
Okay.
Fiviera, let's go. I participated in a tech startup web in Dublin, and the second product won the prize using AI to certify if the website or news are fake or not. Well, this is a good use, right? My team won its similar product, but with the government. Yeah, that's nice. She is so proud. Yeah, I'm so proud of myself and felt lucky to believe that idea.
That's
There's
crazy.
another comment here, Philip. This one is for Philip. When do you go? When do you go your immersion about AI? I'm so excited about this. Yeah.
So
So
yeah,
that's it.
so
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah.
I'm creating I'm creating like this immersion,
Yeah.
immersion, to talk about AI and like everything that we've been talking here about, with more specific touch points as well, and some good source of knowledge, books, and also talking about ChatGPT and how to work and how it works as well. So yeah, so I launched this idea and I've been creating the content now. So I have a team working with me who's creating the content, and mostly now we're creating the visuals for the classes. So there will be some very crazy visuals and some doc style
Mhm.
classes. So yeah, I don't have a date yet. I don't want to block a date, but it's gonna happen. So the crazy thing is, I launched this, and I know that I have a big audience, right? The my WhatsApp group already have over 1,000 people looking
Waiting
for,
for this content.
yeah, waiting for this. So there's 1,000 people waiting for to get to know more about AI and how to use AI in like everyday life, right? So yeah, soon. What I can say
Yeah.
for now, it's soon. Soon's gonna happen. I
Soon
let you
enough.
know
Soon
on
enough.
Instagram and all my social
Yeah,
media.
keep up on Instagram. Let's see
Yeah.
Jonathan's question here. Do you think we're gonna need to manage with leaks through AI of user private data that we as user generate every single day at the big corp uses and sell between them?
For sure.
Yeah,
For sure.
I agree.
I don't have any doubt that, I mean, nowadays it's still the highest uh how to say, the highest what is, it's not a coin, it's like user data is still very expensive, and companies buy user data for advertising. Everything they
Yeah.
you consume nowadays is based on user data advertising. They need to know you better, so
In order
their
to sell to
advertise will
you.
be
Yeah.
more effective, right? So yeah, it's still, and I believe this is still gonna sell quite a lot. And those companies, I think, when have you ever stopped to read the terms of service and the user data and privacy? Nobody does it. So yeah, for sure. That's why I said like, even for all the tools that we have nowadays, besides Adobe, because we know where the data are going because they made that very clear. Um, all those other companies who were creating like those AI tools, it's not transparent. You really have to dig out to understand what's happening with the data. And if you put something that you're not so sure that you shouldn't, you should look for the form to ask to remove this data from the system. Because the way it works right now is it's not automatically integrated to the model. It actually needs to pass through human check,
Okay.
and human has to approve it. But it's going to feed the make the model better, or better. I don't know if it's better the word, but anyways, your data will will be used to train this model for sure, but it's not automatically. It needs to pass through like phases of approval by human, machine, whatever. Yeah,
Come
it's
on.
crazy, right?
Oh my God. This is the kind of sign that the end of the end of
It,
days is
even when I talk, I think I'm talking
it's
about like
coming.
this science fiction movie. I'm
Yeah.
constantly think that we are in the science fiction movie, and the crazy thing is, we passed through a pandemic, or we're still in a pandemic. I don't know anything anymore, and now we are talking about AI. Have you ever
Yeah.
imagined, like, if we talked like 3 years ago or 4 years ago, and I tell you that, yeah, the world will pass through a huge pandemic, and then after this, AI will show up. Would you believe it? Definitely no. I don't think we even thought about this is gonna happen. We're gonna have
Yeah.
AI. We're gonna
It's
talk about
unthinkable.
AI. Like,
Yeah.
it seems like a science fiction movie, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sounds
Let's
actually.
let's give the guys, Philip, some examples of what we are saying. Guys, we were talking about, the influence that AR is bringing into our life. It's not actually specifically to our work, but to our life. Okay,
Yeah.
we are getting to uh, faster to things, in order to enhance our life. So there are bad sides that we have to think of, like this, user information, security and stuff. But also, in the other hand, we have some gains. For example, uh, if AI can generate for you a quick text, under the layout that you are developing or creating on Figma, So, hey, ChatGPT, give me a small quote that I can use in the hero section of my website. Okay, this is not the final text, but in order for you not to use Lauren anymore, Lauren Ibsen anymore, you can ask the AI to give you that text. It's not the final text. You still have to read to understand the content, and see if this is actually what you're trying to say. Okay, but still, there is time that you are saving by using AI, right? So, in the bright side of this whole situation, right, Felipe? I think we have to consider that AI can make us better designers,
For
okay, in,
sure.
in certain way, because if they are making our lives so much easier, we can deliver more.
Yeah,
So for
I
example,
just I don't.
how much time do you think a regular designer used to take, to create an interface? A week. With AI, you can do this in one day. Okay, 1 hour. AI will give you this in 1 hour, but still you have to refine and make some changes, and improvements, and grab some illustrations and different type forms and stuff. Okay, so if the work of 1 week you can do from now on in one day, you can do so much more in less time. So companies, the try and error, in my perspective, Felipe, I think it's completely changing, because that gray zone that we used to spend like months and weeks trying to discover and iterate, and ideate with people and talking to people and discovering stuff, testing MVP and whatever, if we can shrink all this amount of thinking and time that we were used to consume, we can deliver so much more. So a company that were used to, to take like 6 months to deliver a product to the market, now you can deliver one product at every month, maybe every week. you know so there is a bright side in this whole scenario, despite of all the downsides. There are the upsides that we can see and we can relate to, right? Because it's not final, but still it's shrinking our design process.
That's so true. I've seen already so many tools that it's already working, somewhat like you described. For example, yesterday I was looking to this tool. Basically, for example, you're interviewing a user, like you're doing like usability test or you're just doing a proper user interview, right? At the same time you're talking to the person and making questions and stuff, it's note taking for you. So it's creating a transcript of the interview and it's note taking. So note taking, it's gone, right? You don't need to, like, you can focus on the interview. You can talk to the person, but you will, like, the AI or whatever it is note taking for you, everything what's going on there. And by the end, it creates a summary for you, a synthesis for you from everything that just happened. You just talked. It can uh, it can tell you the emotions. It can tell you basically everything that happens in that interview and make you a synthesis based on your conversation. And you, of course, you just did the conversation, so you felt that as well, and you can compare what you feel, what you felt from the interview with the result and balance and tell like, yeah, this is good or this is not good, and you can fix later. But it makes you more efficient, right?
Yeah.
I believe it makes you more efficient because you can focus in like, okay, I'm talking to this person now. Maybe I don't need a colleague to take notes, and I can just balance this with the AI, especially if it's just you in the team, right? Lots of company there's just one designer,
Yeah.
so you can do that yourself, right?
Yeah.
The other one I saw, it was about text generation inside Figma. So basically, you can just link, for example, if your company already have a site, right? Already have a product online, and you want
Okay.
to make the content for your design mimic what you already have online. You just type the link, the URL, and it will copy the content, and not just copy. It can generate the content based on your product online, right? So you don't need to spend lots of time thinking about the copy, and you just, yeah, I don't know, introduction to the product specific with 200 words. That's it. It will write based on your own product, right? There's the other one, the Copilot. I think it's Copilot, the name.
Copilot's
And
from
they,
Microsoft, right? The one
yeah, Copilot's from
that
Microsoft, but
you
there's the
can
other one
generate
from Diagram.
slides for PowerPoint and stuff.
Diagram. I think
I saw a
that's
video of Copilot.
Genius. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not, it's
Oh,
Copilot, it's
genius.
Genius.
Okay.
So there's this other one. I also made a video on Instagram,
Yeah.
which is basically this AI assistant. It's a Copilot that works with you. So you're creating your design, and it activates this second uh, I don't know how it works, but this I haven't seen in use yet. But the way they present is basically you are designing, and it's suggesting you some fix, like live. For example, you make the button, I don't know, wrong borders, and I don't know if it works like this, but it would be awesome if it works like this. But you make the corner radius like 7 pixels. You should use 8, for example, and it
Yeah.
tells you, hey, this is wrong. You should use 8. Or it could also fix for you. So you don't have to worry about the specs, because if it already knows your design system and your specification, your tokens, you can just design and without be very like pixel perfect and pushing pixel and like revising your design. The AI is doing that for you. So less work
How
for
much
you, right?
time are we used to spend reviewing those specs, right?
Me personally, nowadays
I spend a
not too
lot.
much time, but I used to spend too much time, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like refining the design at the level of like I'm in love with it, you know.
Yeah,
Like
me too.
I've spent so much time like refining
We both
screens
are
and
crafters.
this, like, yeah, the craft was insane. And I believe nowadays I'm
It makes no
rooting
sense.
for a tool like this that I can just focus in the experience itself, you know, and I can generate and ideate fast and deliver faster, so I can understand and fix again. So you know the process, like the process to fail gets shorter, so I can improve in less time and spend less money,
Yeah.
of course, for
Yeah.
the company or for my own pocket money.
I have a final example, Philip, for us to finish, which is
Go ahead.
every area in technology is being threatened by AI, right? So, for example, there is an AI. I know, maybe you don't know this, not you, Philip. you that the ones that are watching us right now, maybe you don't know this, but there is an AI that corrects your eye. So if you are recording a story, you don't have to look to the camera anymore. You can look aside, read the text, and the AI corrects your eye towards the camera. Right? Am I wrong or am I right? There's an AI that does that. There's another AI that changes your voice. So okay, today I want to speak like Denzel Washington, and then I record a video of myself speaking, and as I record, the AI is already automatically generating the version of what I'm saying in Denzel Washington's voice, right? So every area is being threatened by AI. Some people, like we were saying, some people are frightened. Some people are going crazy, and other people are saying, "Hey, maybe this is good." My entire process, I'm used to take like a week to do this, and now I can do it in a day, so I can do more. And in our scenario, Felipe, which is recruiting UX designer, there's a lot of things that we do, one by one. Fernando, who's here, he picks the phone and calls people. Hey, how are you? What are you after? Let's talk, and let me discover if your profile is okay for the opening from that specific company. So there's a lot of human touch in what we do, Felipe. But
A lot of
still,
bias as well, right?
a lot of biases, yes, but there are still some ways, some parts on that process that can be automated.
For
Okay,
sure,
I'm
yeah.
not saying like goopy that there's no one behind the machine, and you get disqualified for the opening without even having a chance to defend yourself. That's not what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah.
What I'm saying is our job, our daily job, is to match what someone wants with what someone is proposing. Okay, I want to hire a designer that is a craft designer, who likes, the tiny
Nitpick, yeah.
details of the border radius of the, but I want this guy. And then we go to our database, and we have those guys. We select the guy that has, or the girl that has the, quite the skills, and the skill set and the experience that the companies are asking for. And then we do the match, not the machine. We do the match, but still there's a lot of time that we spend evaluating people, right? I go to the portfolio, and then I go to the LinkedIn profile. And then I say, oh, in LinkedIn, Felipe is telling me that he works for Zalando. Okay. Then I go to Felipe's portfolio, and I can't see anything about Zalando. So,
It's because there's so many Just kidding.
yeah, I'm sure there's an explanation. But still, Felipe, we do this by hand. We
Yeah.
craft this, and there is
Yeah,
there
for me,
is
I have
an
a good example
AI.
for the craft side. For example,
Yes.
designers are very good in designing, but they are very bad
Okay.
in documentation. Like every designer that I know
Yeah.
hates documentation.
Yeah.
So I'm just like I've seen some tools and I've used some tools nowadays that creates perfect documentation, like design specs and makes sense, right? So I'm just like those are type of tools that will make my work more efficient because I suck in documentation, right? I hate
Mhm.
writing, I hate creating making sense of stuff and creating those design specs because yeah, I'm already spent too much time making sure the design is perfect, but then I have to make a fake some lines just to tell to my engineer that oh yeah this is like 48 pixels, or I have to create those like visual elements to show visually to my engineer that hey you should do like this, right? But they there is some tools that already do that for you. Like
Yeah.
why should like spend time and of course lose time creating those that I
Yeah.
first I don't like and I suck in it. So yeah,
Yeah.
my take on it is I definitely believe this. There are some risks that uh, for every area, every industry, but I think the benefits, especially for designers, will be greater. and you
Yeah.
make our work much easier,
Mhm.
in a sense that you're gonna do what you like to do.
Mhm.
You don't need to worry too much about
Yeah.
anything else. Then you're like focus on the journey, the user, and the problem. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's that.
This is a good example, Felipe. I don't know if you know about this AI. I challenge
Yes.
everyone watching us now to go to this website and try it. What does it do? Okay, he's gonna evaluate your profile in order to get you a job.
That's awesome.
It's my job to do that, Felipe. This is what we do, right? So if you go to this website, it's telling you that, hey, give me your information, like we were saying. Okay, let me evaluate you. In order for me, the AI is telling you this in the website, in the landing page. In order for me to evaluate you, give me your information, and then I will give you, my point of view of your flaws and your gains in order to give you an idea of what you should do to get your next career step. Okay, so if you say that I tried that, Felipe, it's amazing. So if Felipe, for example, tells the AI, the drawer AI, which this one, if Felipe tells a drawer AI, hey, I am a craft visual UI designer who wants to work for car company.
I'm trying
Okay,
here.
okay, give it a try. And then
Yeah, go ahead, go
it's
ahead.
gonna ask your links. It's gonna ask about your LinkedIn, your portfolio, your links. And then after you give this information, the AI evaluates your profile based on the links that you just gave them or and then it's going to elaborate a graphic showing you, where do you need to improve your value proposition.
Wow,
So
that's
Felipe, as
amazing.
you told me that you are a craft designer, I can not only show you job openings on that profile, which matches with you, but also I can tell you that that opening, that vacancy requires something that you don't have. For example, you live in Finland, and this opening is in Jamaica. And this company doesn't hire people remotely. You have to be in Jamaica to work there. But besides that, you're perfect for the job.
Yeah.
So what's the point here, guys? You can count on AI, to tell you what to do, right? Still, there's a huge level of human touch there that it's needed. Okay, I agree that this AI is amazing. Okay, but still, it doesn't have deploys human touch. My human touch, Fernando's human touch. The feeling that the right person for the right person.
Yeah.
Because people hire people, guys. Okay, it's a company hiring a professional. Okay, but if I want to hire Felipe, I want to talk to him. I want to see if there's, some kind of chemistry between us in order for me to feel safe enough to give it a try because it's my money on the line, right? If
Yeah.
I hire Felipe and if Felipe, doesn't want to work for me anymore after 1 month, that's a risk I'm taking. I'm gonna pay him and then he's gonna leave me, right? AI
Yeah,
won't help you on that.
there are some stuff that you only talking to the person you can extract. You
Exactly.
can extract the feeling, the sense, also if the
Yeah,
person is
exactly.
is a fit, right?
Yeah.
Within the culture and everything. I think it's essential to talk with person and like one-on-one to get the sense of
Definitely.
for
But
both
still,
both
Felipe,
both of you,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But still, by the end of the day, this software can help my process. Not only you, that is after a job opportunity, but it can help me. As a
I
as a portfolio curator, evaluator, UX evaluator for openings, it can help my process to become leaner, and more
I see here
accurate.
it gives you stats on where like you have to upload everything in there. So you have to upload your resume, you put
Of course,
your
you have to
LinkedIn
give them
links and your
information.
portfolios
Yeah.
and sites and whatever. and
Yeah.
it gonna analyze this and gonna give you some feedback. Where should you like improve? And also
Yeah.
it compares to the what we have now in the industry, like higher paid salaries and the companies
Mhm.
that are hiring product designers, for example, and what should you do to apply for those
Yeah.
positions. And I see
Yeah.
that they also offer you, like they connect you with the companies, right? So
Yeah.
if you're in the system, they connect you with the company. So pretty good. I think it
Yeah.
makes sense. I'm always worried about the human touch, like missing the human touch and just become like
Yeah.
this machine, because you can easily fake your portfolios and your
Of
resumes, and
course.
everybody
Yeah.
does. You shouldn't do
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think the human touch is essential, still
Yeah.
essential, right?
Yeah.
But even that, like
Definitely.
machines are are becoming so good in uh,
To analyze
catch.
information, that there's no
Yeah,
comparison, right, Felipe?
yeah,
We cannot compare, guys, anymore the velocity and the quality of the an analysis made by a machine versus us. It would take us
yeah.
6 months to to identify the patterns, right? It's just
It's
impossible.
it's
It's
crazy.
just impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see some other some other comments in the end. Then we are timed up, right?
Yeah.
20 minutes ahead. Recently, I saw an AI from Google that calls local commerces to update the data of their commerce at Google Maps. That left me speechless. Yeah, I
That's
didn't know
crazy.
that.
That's crazy. Like imagine that you yeah, you see something in your
It's
business
invitation,
and
red lines for me.
you
Super
can
helpful.
contact
Yeah,
your clients without you doing anything. So you're just like upselling and you're just like making sure that the everything is working. So you don't have to touch those like old datas. So you just made AI call someone and even fake the voice that's talking to a real person.
yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine
So
if
the
it's,
name of some tools. Yeah. So actually,
I'm
I
gonna put it
have
here.
one. I haven't tested this one yet. They approached me a couple
Let's
of days
go.
ago on Instagram. Let's do this. I'm gonna share on Instagram, my Instagram, some of the
Okay.
tools. Just follow there. I'm always sharing like the new tools that I'm trying out. And now that I'm talking about AI for the past since the beginning of the year, I've been talking for about 2 years now, but I changed my focus now to talk about AI and design and how those two talk together. But yeah, a lot of companies are reaching out to for me to test their product. So go there to my Instagram. I'm gonna share some of the ones that I've been trying. As I said, I tried the Adobe Firefly, right? Video is coming up soon. I already recorded. I have to edit, but yeah, there's a few in Figma that I'm planning to make a video about it, and I just got a license for one to use and try out. If I like it, I might get some discount for the the followers as well. I already asked.
Yeah. Nice.
I always ask like, "Hey, can you make like a 10, 15, 20% discount for my followers?" I said, "Yeah, sure. How many do you need?" All of them.
Give me 100, 1,000, please. Yeah. All right, Felipe. I think we are timed up, man. We have
Yeah,
the
I
idea
think
was to
so.
be 1 hour live. We are almost 1 hour and a half. I'd like to thank you all for being here with us. But before I forget, guys, on April 10, we are launching our portfolio course. Okay, so if you don't know about this, Felipe is giving me some hints. Danielle is also giving me some hints, some tips on how to create a course. This is the very first course from Deploy, okay? And it's not based in AI. We didn't use ChatGPT to create the course, okay? I recorded the course myself
Missing the
alongside with
opportunity.
Flavio Santana. Yeah, so this is a content, a very unique content that is based on our experience on hiring UX designer for the last 5 or 6 years. Okay, so there's a lot of tips, a lot of best practices, and a lot of practical exercises for you to build the best version of your portfolio. It's not a cake receipt. Okay, it's not supposed to be the same portfolio for everyone. It doesn't work like that. Okay, your portfolio must be you and you alone. Okay, so this course will help you, will guide you in this path to build the best version of your portfolio, not anybody else's portfolio, your portfolio. Okay, so there's a lot of tips, a lot of things that we have discovered and we do as recruiters that are, shiny gold for you to help you, to guide you on the path to the next step in your UX career. Okay, so on April 10, we're going to be live again here in Deepwise channel on YouTube. Okay, and we're going to be launching our first and only course. Okay, so don't miss it. If you subscribe now for the course, you get a special discount. Okay, so go to the link and save your seat. Okay, Felipe, your last 5 cents. Go.
Now, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Always up to good talk. I could talk about AI for another 2 hours or an hour and a half. But yeah, I appreciate everybody's time. Don't be afraid. I think it's important for you to read about it and be on top of this topic, as we have been doing this for years, right? Every time, like as a designer, you need to like recycle. You need to learn new tools, new like methods. So this is another opportunity that it's like in your face right now. Just take it, read it, try to inform yourself about it. Don't be afraid. And yeah, that's it. Follow me on my socials. Everything is exactly this.
Yeah.
So yeah,
This content is amazing. By the way, congratulations, man. You've done a great
thank you.
job. We've
Appreciate
been
it.
doing this, for quite a while. I don't know if everyone
13
here knows
years.
that,
Yeah.
but Felipe is one of the best content producers when it
Thank you.
comes
I
to
appreciate it.
design, and stuff, the quality of the material, the depth of the material, the visuals are, just mind blowing. So if you don't follow him, please do, because you're missing really good stuff. Okay. Everyone, thanks again for being with us tonight. It's always a pleasure to have you with us. And then we are all set. I'll see you in the next live event. Bye. Ciao.